Hello everybody, Sifd again with another Vampire Survivors run. And today I will be doing another Labora run, but today I'm gonna try to use weapons and items that will, showcase it a bit more than stifle its ability to, work. Now, what I'm gonna go for is, first of all, I'm gonna use the new character again, just to, showcase him a bit more. So we're gonna go Cross because he starts with it. Labora, because that's what we want to showcase. And then I will go with Laurel because it doesn't do that much, so it's not going to stifle Labora's ability to function. And also Clock Lancet, so these two items are here for not doing anything. Then I was thinking about going for Knife because I will pick up the Bracer. And then I'm between Fire Wand or Lightning Ring. I guess I can go Fire Wand, but I'm most likely going to go Lightning Ring just so that I attack everything around us. And yeah, in general, it's not one of the better items, so that's the idea why I want to use it. Now, for the rest of the items, actually, those were the weapons. Now, for the items themselves, I was thinking about going Candelabrador, Bracer, and Spellbinder. Everything should help Labora work. And then Spinach, because, damage is damage. And then I would say Attractor for my fifth item, because, pickup range. And then I actually thought about picking up the new item, just to, showcase it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and the new item would be 6. And yeah, that's it pretty much. I'm not gonna have Duplicator, but it doesn't really matter with the things I'm using. So yeah, let's actually go with Crunchy, and let's see how this goes. Obviously, we're gonna go to the library. Let's see what item we get first. King Bible, Cross, and Sound of Water. We found the Sound of Water already. Very nice. Let's continue running around at the speed of sound. It's pretty nice and chill. Oh, this run's dead. Because all of those items would really affect what's gonna happen. So let's try this again. Let's get the Sound of Water first. Let's hope this time I'm not gonna get something that invasive for my plan. Knives are here, and Lightning Ring is here too. Let's go for the knives first, as they will literally not do anything. Now that I think about it, maybe I should have gone Lightning Ring first, as it would at least do something. Spellbinder is here and the Lightning Ring is here, but let's first go for the items, just to get my first 6 items done, and then I can quickly go to the left and start picking up, other things. Now that I think about it though, I maybe should have gone for the Lightning Ring to get more kills quickly. Yeah, I definitely should have gone for damage first and item second. Crossfire on the Knife. I'm gonna go Knife to set up the Legendary. I know the Cross is better, but it's not like having some levels in Cross is gonna help us. Because, I don't think we will ever have a problem with damage, etc. In general, the library is pretty easy. Although this build might not be that powerful, but it doesn't matter because, as I said, my plan mostly is to showcase the Labora and also the new item, which we hopefully will get, the Tiramisu. Which, as far as I remember, it's not even a Tiramisu; it's like a Tirajisu. I don't remember the naming that these items have in this game. We'll obviously get the Attractor up here, as it's literally the item I need for the Labora. Let's continue. Nice, some XP here and there. I'm trying to be close up to opponents so that when I shoot the boomerang, it's gonna hit, like, hopefully everything. Hopefully everything. Bracer, very nice. Continue gaining stuff. Now I also got the prerequisite for the Dagger Legendary, so there's that. Pretty nice and clean. Got some healing here and there. Why am I chasing down healing? Nobody knows. Try to get in the middle of things here. Spinach is part of the build. I'm really lucky with what I'm rolling right now. I almost have gotten everything. I just need the Tiramisu or whatever it's called. And then the Candelabrador, and we're pretty much done. That was like extremely fast. If on the next 2 levels I get those, that is. Because I haven't gotten them yet, so saying that it's extremely fast without having everything doesn't really make that much sense now, does it? Those are not part of the build. For the Cross at this point, might as well get some damage rolling here, so that I can clear out opponents. It's not like I have Garlic or anything to have a safeguard that everything's gonna go well. Try to throw it to the right so we will pierce them. No, I was not able to achieve that. Clover Armor, no, we're gonna go with more attraction. More attraction means more XP in general, so... Come on, shoot it to the left. Nope, that was not a good call. I need to like hit the angles. Hit the angles. Let's go. Well, moving around again. Let's see. We will continue with attraction. By the way, I listened to one of my audio files yesterday. First of all, yesterday a bunch of replies about game balance and game ideas and gaming in general. When I asked about power trip against challenge mode, seems like the consensus is that I guess power trip is more fun oriented, but also more you might get burned out, so you will have to have more challenges to fight with your power trip. While the challenge mode is more, I don't know, I feel proud that I beat this game centric. And in general, after you beat it, you're done. Like, well, that's another game conquered. So what am I missing? It's definitely not the duplicator. It is the... Oh, come on, before the fight I always count them down specifically for times like these. You know what? Ah, yeah, the tiramisu. So we're not picking it. We'll continue with the track group. I don't know why I'm leaving this here. Let's just open it up. I got another knife. Nice. Closing into the level 8 knife. Pretty nice. And yeah, I have to agree. Feels like challenging games are actually more about beating them and not actually, you know, having fun with them per se. The target of the game and also of the player is not to play the game to have fun. I mean, obviously, as a game itself, you will have a sense, you know, of accomplishment, or you will feel like, yes, I beat it, and then that is gonna cascade into you having fun, right? But the main aspect of the game, like, how can I say it? When a game is a power trip, the game idea is players are going to have fun with this game. Like, it's in the concept of the game. While challenging game modes don't go like that. I don't know how to explain it really. That's not the main aspect of the game. I don't think like when they created Souls, they were thinking, man, people are gonna have fun with this. They're gonna be ecstatic about playing this game. No, it's just, man, we created an awesome game. Nothing to do with fun. Let's continue here. I would say let's go with the knife to set up the legendary, as we are on the 5-minute mark anyway. So might as well go for that. Yeah, that guy's stuck. Very nice. In a bit, we're closing into the moment where we will start running to the right. Get closer to the cooldown reduction item. Let's go with this. We have time for everything else too. There is no rush. Open up another cross. Pretty decent. Although we're not gonna get the cross legendary, as I've said. I could have thrown away the candelabra door, for example, for the luck, so that I could have gotten the legendary cross. But the thing is, honestly speaking, I don't need to showcase the cross again. I want to just do this thing, while also having the character that, you know, isn't really good with it, but it doesn't really matter. I could have gone with the tank, by the way. The tank starts with Santa Water. But I don't think it matters. Like, really, I think it's more fun to play with this new character and have like a million revives. So that's why I decided to go with that. Let's leave this here for later, for very later, when we're gonna go to the very left and then go back to the very right. So let's have that over there waiting for us. As my weapons are concerned, I'm still missing the clock lancet. And then... Wait, what else am I missing? I mean, practically speaking, only the clock lancet is missing. Whoops, I picked up the magnetism. Whoopsie! Let's go crosses again. Well, theoretically speaking, I'm not even forced to pick up the clock lancet or anything, actually. I could also go with Pijonas. But the whole idea here is that I want to have a bunch of weapons that do not do anything around or close to me. So that only the super water... What am I doing? Let's go to the left. only the super water is actually going to give us the close-up protection, I guess. I don't want anything to interact or interfere with the Santa water. That's my idea here. The Labora. And off to the left we go. As you see, the bug that when you go to the left on this map is still persisting. The bug still exists. You still find like one... Oh, okay, the moment I was talking, now actually things appear. I guess they changed something. Or is the right side not full with opponents? Ah, okay, the right side has more opponents now. Yeah, okay, got it. It was the 7-minute mark. I guess at the 7-minute mark, a few more opponents appear here. Instead of only the purple sword dudes. Wait, I just realized. Is this... Are these guys literally headless horsemen? Because, or are just holding... Oh, I guess they were holding a skull shield and a sword. Yeah, that makes a bit more sense. Although, honestly speaking, if you look at half of the enemies, they're like monstrosities. Makes sense, though. I mean, we are supposed to be demon hunters here. Although, I'm not sure. I guess I specifically me, I am a traitor. Wait a minute. Is this character Alucard? Although he's called Chippy, though. Because he also has fast movement speed, which, as far as I know, that's the idea of what Alucard does, right? He just jumps around in extreme speeds and is insanely powerful or something. So speed is power in these universes. I mean, in most universes too, like the real one. What do you mean the real one? That is very offensive against the non-real universes. I'm sorry if I offended any non-real universe person. Sifd being Sifd, asking for forgiveness for things that don't exist. I mean, let's drop this discussion here because it's not really going anywhere. Where is my book? Where is my book? Where is my free book? Hello, game. Hello. Please don't tell me because... Please don't tell me somehow luck affected the drop rate, the chance that I find the book and I actually will not find a book. Because that's what it feels like is going to happen. Yeah, where's the free book? Hello? Hello? Let's go with spinach. Yeah, I don't see us getting a free book. That's maybe the first time this is happening. Since when I started going left for the book. Yep. I don't see a book. Maybe I missed it. There is a chance I missed it, and I do understand that that can be a thing that can happen. Oh no, I'm forced to pick something. I guess the pentagram, because it happens extremely rare. I would say. I know we lose XP by doing that, but it's the most non goes against the build item. Okay, if the book's not like in the next one, I'm gonna stop going to the left. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. We're gonna just stay in the flames and just gather the XP from all the opponents in the flames. We're losing too much life. Panic, 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 explosion. Panic, panic. Okay, the crosses do actually do stuff. Oh no. And the moment I stopped running around, now we actually have less opponents. Well, should have farmed the ghost plus bones. Yeah, I should have farmed. Mistakes were made. Now I will be left behind for a bit. Now I need to go to the right, by the way, because I have left so much XP behind. I mean, we can go Legendary Cross, but no, we cannot go Legendary Cross. Still want my revives, and I still don't want anything else. I want to see what the Legendary Pentagram is going to do. Because right now the Pentagram as is really mediocre at best. Santa Water. Also, somebody said that Santa Water actually got a huge buff, because you should almost always go with Magnetism. I never thought about that, but yeah, that's actually true. Straight up, because you almost always should have Magnetism. Laurel, Santa Water got pretty much a free buff. as you should almost always have the items needed for you to get the legendary underwater. I hate you thing. Did it delete the item on the ground? It deleted the item on the ground. First of all, lightning ring. I feel like I'm gonna punch a wall here. And this stupid pentagram needs a rework, complete rework. I do understand that it kills opponents and does not drop XP, but I completely, wholeheartedly disagree with it having, for some reason, a downside. I don't know. Yo, Dev, if you watch this, please rework pentagram completely. Like, you know what? Not even forget what I just said. I'm not okay with deleting XP either. It has a 2 or 3 minute cooldown. For what reason does it delete XP and items? Why is that? Why does one item or all the items have a downside? I don't understand that. Like, it's as if you took a good idea. We can have a thing that destroys the whole screen, and then for some reason you continued speaking, and we're like, and we can make it for some reason delete the items and XP too, and then we can retroactively, if they level it up, then put back the fact that you can get XP and items. Why? Just give it a better effect. Give it a better effect on level up. Right now it's the worst item in the game by far. Like, it's the worst item by far because you lose XP. First of all, give me no Sunwall Raid, yes. This is legendary, yep, very nice. We got the Labora. So yeah, in general, completely disagree with how pentagram works. First of all, I think it's the least used item. If I would like guess which item is the least used, it's this one. It's the one that deletes your XP and the items on the ground. Oh, wait a minute. There is a good chance I did not find the book because I have pentagram and it happened to delete it. You realize that that is actually a thing that might have actually happened? There is actually a good chance that we literally lost pentagram, an item on the ground, because I have the pentagram in the build. You know what? If anything, if anybody sees me literally deleting the book, I would appreciate if somebody like timestamps it in the comments below. Like, yup, Sifd, you were right. You actually did delete the book on the map with a pentagram, so that we know, you know, just so that we have an idea of how bad that thing is. Which we have an idea. It's extremely bad. The answer is extremely bad. Can I get one last level up on the books before this thing dies? Well, it died already. And when I said book, I meant daggers. I wanted one more level on the daggers. The Labora don't really move that fast. I think this thing needs like a little bit of a buff, the Labora. Honestly speaking, like, if you compare, for example, the Labora with pretty much anything else, yeah, not really that exciting, isn't it? Not really that exciting. You know what I should do? First of all, I'm still searching for the revive. I should use the Misigno character. I hate you, Pentagram. I should use the Misigno character to... what is it called? To try to get a character that has insanely huge projectile speed with the Labora, and then these things should move so fast that they're always on top of you. That's something we can do. Yeah, theoretically that is something we could do and might be fun. So, I don't know. If you want to see that, then just comment down below about it, and I might do it. We got the super daggers. So now at least I got the machine gun daggers going out for us. That is something. Still have not found the revive. I hope the revive does not have some kind of secret way of you finding it. Because if that's the case, then I'm never gonna find it, because I don't know the secret thing you have to do. Maybe somebody explains it to me one day. One day, one time. I'm ready to see an explosion happen in a moment and we lose everything. Still trying to find the tiramisu. Still trying to find the tiramisu. Imagine if it's an item that you only find on a specific map. Empty tome is here, but I cannot pick it up, as I still want the new item, as I have said. I like how wherever the Labora drops, everything dies in there. Like, I see drops happening there in the background, and literally pop, everything dies. Like, in there, everything dies. I don't know. Labora doesn't really... yeah, I don't know. It's, yeah, it's gonna pop instantly. It's lacking something. First of all, it moves too slow. By the way, I love that it becomes huge, but it moves too slow, like too slow, like huge, not hugely. Yeah, it moves too slow. I don't know how to say it differently. It literally moves too slow. As I said, I will try to use the Misigno character to see if we can achieve a better, faster, stronger Labora. Oh, I'm surrounded. Pop him. Not only did I pop him, we also lost 1,000,000 XP. Spellbinder. Lightning Spellbinder. Lightning. There was a super XP drop, that's why I got so much XP there. Continue. And we have, you know what, let's actually not... Oh, Tiragisu found it. Revives once with 50% HP. You know, I wanna see if I get full on surrounded with this thing. Or does it actually drop too far away? Nope, I am super surrounded. So now I am within flames. Nothing should be able to come close to us. Ooh, I'm flamed. Let's continue. Also, another revive? Oh, it gives you 2 revives and that's that. I'm gonna go with the pentagram. Oh no, I'm gonna lose too much XP. Tiragisu is. Yeah, I'm gonna lose too much XP if I pick up this thing. I'm just gonna level that thing up like 5 times in a row at some point. Which point is not right now? Ah, right now could be a good one though. Because this specific... Actually, I'm gonna wait. Yeah, now that I have a global pickup, forget it. Why is this thing not dying? Ending ring. Can we pick this up? This gives us like a pentagram. How so? How so? Well, I was actually expecting that thing to give us pentagram. Yeah, as I said, Tiragisu, not Tiragisu, Labora moves too slow, and I would say maybe is too small. In general, I don't know why they added this moving thing. Maybe it would be more fun if it stayed where it is, and when you move, it moves with you. That's something they could have done, couldn't they? Like, it drops here, and then it gets locked inside there, and then you move around. Then it would be like something like the book. Actually, it chasing you is not the problem. Like, it chasing you is actually a smart idea. The main problem is that it moves too slow. Other than that, there is no problem. Like, if I'm moving with this... Do you see how slowly I'm moving right now? This is my normal moving speed, and it doesn't even move that fast. This is not a speed that it can ever catch up to. Do you see this? Do you see how exposed I am right now? 45% chance not to raise items. Did they buff this? I remember it was like 2040... 60, and now it was a 45. So I guess I'm expecting now an even bigger number in a moment. Like 70, I hope. Let's hope it's 100 actually. Oh, by the way, let's please hope that they don't just make the legendary... They don't just make the legendary into... let's continue with this. They don't just make the legendary into the pentagram no longer deletes items. Something like that would be really meh, in my opinion. What could they do with the pentagram though, with for destroying opponents? I don't know. I would say something like, now it's permanent, but it eats 10% of enemy's life per second. And it's like a permanent pentagram around you that kills everything. 65% chance. Is this affected by my luck already? Or did he just add 5%? What a boring buff to this thing. Just add 5%. I guess if the 65% plus the 4D luck is additive, then right now I have a 105% chance to not delete items. So theoretically it should no longer have a downside. But still, I don't know. Pentagram needs a rework, in my opinion. The idea of having an item with a huge cooldown that insta-kills the whole wave is good. The idea that item for some reason deletes everything on the map. I mean, I know the reason. The reason is it's thematically appropriate. It literally deletes everything. Get it? It also deletes the XP. Get it? Get it? But still, no, it's not a good idea. I do get it, but it's not a good idea in general. Having a downside in a game that is literally a power trip. Actually, it's the reason nobody uses it. Like, straight up. Because you lose XP by doing it. I mean, maybe also because it has a 5-minute cooldown. But still. Honestly, I think it should have like a 1-minute cooldown. And if you have a cooldown reduction, it should be... Yeah, no, I believe that. It should have a 1 minute cooldown, and if you have cooldown reduction, which as far as I understand caps at... if I had the book, this should be about 40%. So yeah, 1 minute cooldown, and if I have cooldown reduction, I reduce it down to 30-second cooldown. And if I have the cooldown character, then I reduce it to 20-second cooldown. Like, who cares? Who cares if this game has an insta-kill on the whole map every 20 seconds? Like, does it really matter? I don't think it matters. But Sifd, it's gonna be broken. As if a bunch of other things are not broken in this game, like the super books and the super garlic and the super bijone, the super broken super bijone. But Sifd, all those items are super versions. Yeah, and that thing is a 30-second cooldown thing. for the 30-second that it would not do anything, you would literally be exposed. So I'm disagreeing here with myself. Classic Sifd fashion. States a point. People might agree with him. He still disagrees with himself. I'm just covering all the bases. Covering all the bases. Covering every single aspect that could have been said about the thing I agree or disagree with. By the way, yesterday, let's open like a random discussion. About a day or two ago, I was in the Inscription Discord, official Inscription Discord, talking about the nerfs. If you go like in the official Inscription Discord and see, you can see all this what I'm about to say, tell to you now right now. Is that a good idea to actually tell everybody to go and see me discussing things? Anyway, yeah, actually, maybe don't everybody rush over there, or at least let's not make a brigade out of that. So don't just go ahead and like disagree with people just to disagree with them or diss them or whatever. But I'm gonna say here what I'm gonna say. So actually, not even gonna say where exactly it happened. So only people extremely dedicated will find the discussions. Yeah, and then official Inscription Discord, like a few days ago, I opened this whole disagreeing with nerfs and buffs and whatnot. Actually, nerfs in specific. I disagree with nerfing solo player games experiences in general. I am pro buff. I'm against nerf. If you wanna give diversity to me, just give me more stuff to use, like this game does, instead of, you know, telling me that yup, Super Bijone is nerfed now, it's trash. Garlic is nerfed now, it's trash. No, don't do that to me. Just give me a better Tagram. Just give me a better knives. Right now, the knives, by the way, are not really that good. Do you know what the knives need in the legendary? In my opinion, the legendary knives, should become a machine gun. Should become like an arc. Like, it is already a machine gun. Just don't give it like a huge arc. Just give it like a small arc. Let's say from like exactly how opponents join right now. So from here to here, this exact arc. I mean, on this map it would be OP, but that's the point, right? Make it OP in maps that are two-sided and make it pretty much almost the same when you're surrounded. Because right now it's only just throwing itself to the front, and that's it pretty much, so really boring. But if it was like a shotgun knife after you leveled up, it would also look more awesome. Like, it would be like I'm throwing a bunch of knives, instead of being I'm throwing a few knives. Because right now it's just I'm throwing infinite knives. I would like to give it the feeling of I'm throwing a bunch of infinite knives. Hashtag Sifd out of context. So, a bunch of infinite is more than just infinite. Anyway, that that statement is completely random. So yeah, I was talking about the discussion I had. The discussion itself does not really matter. What I want to analyze here is in general discussing with somebody something and trying to convince them while not having the, I guess, mental capacity or strength, or, you know, sometimes you just don't want, right? You just don't want to do it. I don't know how this is called. I have no... I don't know how it's called. When you just don't want to do something because you don't want to do this. Not just... I guess mental capacity would make sense. Anyway, yeah. Opening a discussion with somebody while not being prepared for him to or her to never change opinions, right? Because some people think that if you state something a million times and the other person just disagrees, that you can somehow convince them if you don't actually convince them. For example, I'm like, I believe that the nerf was a bad idea. If you want to, and then I'm also gonna state, if you want to convince me, then tell me why it's a good idea. And if you don't convince me for that one point I'm talking to you about, right? If I literally tell you, I will get convinced if you explain to me why it was actually a good idea to do whatever you think is a good idea, right? And then you just don't convince me ever. You just say, it's a good idea because it needed to happen. right? It's a good idea because it wasn't balanced. It's a good idea because, and just like that, you know, stating the reason and not explaining why the reason is correct. I don't know how to explain this. Like, it's as if I'm telling you they made apples more expensive. And then you're like, yes, but why? And then the answer is because they were cheap. No, I want the answer to be because the apples came from a farmer, and those farmers now actually, you know, now the apples cost more because it's harder to find seeds, because it's winter, etc, 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 etc. You know, there has to be an explanation why something is happened, not like not just buzzwords. I don't know how to explain this thing. Like, literally, if I'm telling you why should the game become easier, and your answer, like, yeah, the discussion goes something like this. Why was it a good idea to nerf something? And the answer I'm getting is because it was broken. Yes, and so what? And the game needed to be harder. According to who? Like, the game, okay, the item is broken and it makes the game easy, but why does the game have to be hard? That's like the underlying question here. Like, answering that something happened because, just straight up because it was a good decision, you know, does not make it a good decision. Yo, it's a good decision that we changed this because it had to be changed, because it was bad, because, like, you know what I mean? And then when I hear that, like, you can tell me this thing like a million times, I'm never gonna change my opinion as long as you don't literally explain to me the underlying factor and the reasoning why you think something should be harder, right? Because, for example, in competitive games, that's a very easy explanation. For competitive games, if somebody says, yo, we had to nerf this card, why? Well, because everybody was using it and the meta was pretty much broken, and, well, nobody could play the game and everybody was losing from that card, and nobody wants to play any deck that actually does not have that card in it, so we just destroyed our own game. That's very understandable. This thing survived. Wow, insane. But in solo player games, I mean, for some reason people think that I don't want balance. But yeah, that's also like a statement I have to make here just to be clear. In solo games, there does not exist balance. What I mean by that is, in solo games, the game is either easy or hard. And when they change something, they either make the game easier or harder. Balance does not exist. Like, you cannot state that a solo game is not balanced. Like, it's the game. Imagine saying that this game is not balanced because you destroy all the enemies. Like, how can you like state balance, and according to what? Balance has to do with one person winning and one person losing, and the balance is that those two people should have a 50-50 chance, or it should be based on their ability, right? So the game should not affect how a person is better than another person. That's what balance is. But balance within the context of a game does not exist. A solo game does not exist because it's you against the game. So what would balance be? That the game has a 50-50 chance to kill you, or otherwise you win? Like, that doesn't even make sense. The word balance does not come into play in solo player games. At least that's my opinion. You can say that one thing is better than the other, right? You can say that Santa Water is a lot better than Dagger Knives. Yeah, obviously. But in the context of nerfing or buffing things, that doesn't make sense. Like saying, okay, then we gotta nerf the Santa Water, or we're gonna buff the daggers, right? You can go any way you want. And then if somebody asks why, the answer cannot be because the game has to be more balanced, because there is no inherent balance. The only thing that the answer can be is because we wanted to make the game easier or harder. And then the question that I just asked comes in, which is, why make it easier or why make it harder? I need an explanation on that. Like, if literally, like, the most logical explanation, obviously, is literally the dev coming in and saying, yeah, guys, I want the game to be hard. As simple as that. Or like, the whole community saying, okay, guys, I want the game to be harder. Like, everybody has to say, we want the game harder, and then, like, okay, we're gonna make it harder. By balance does not come into this equation, like, at all. By the way, we are actually clearing everything here. Like, these puddles on the ground does not, they don't feel powerful, but they are actually powerful, although they don't feel like it. You can see them like slowly creeping towards us. Let's YOLO into this whole area here. 7 minutes. Is there any reason why I'm YOLOing into this whole area? Like, reason? I don't think so. Come on, Santa Water, save us. Save us, slow-moving Santa Water. Do something, slow-moving Santa Water. By the way, we might die. When I say we might die, I don't mean it, because we are immortal. In case you forgot, we do actually have... Ooh, we got 1,000,000 levels here. We do actually have like 50 revives. Somebody told me that the revives do give you... should get translated into money in reality, which makes actually sense, you know? If you think about this, the revives are actually just straight up, you get more money. Oh, I should have gone with health. I'm gonna die here. We lost the revive. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. That was like a waste. A waste of money. But you know what? I don't care. If anything, by the way, the water is not really the saving grace of anything. The water isn't really that helpful. But it does do something, okay? It does do something. It is actually... It is useful, but it's not helpful. Oh, we found the mask. Let's pick up the mask. I completely forgot the mask. Yeah, we can gain more money here. Mask up. Although, now that I think about it, we might get less money because of what I just did. I got another freeze. Nice. Is it nice, though? Because now only hard opponents should appear. Let's stay here and gather all the Santa Water in a spot. Oh. Yep. Whoa! 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 I'm super excited, Sifd. We're dead. I'm trying to see if the Santa Water can save us. Yeah, no. It's definitely not as powerful as pretty much any other insta-win item. I'm really sad about that, obviously. Continue reviving here. Heal, nice, run out of there. I'm just gonna run out. We're gonna die, we're gonna lose. I'm out of revives, man, we lose. Okay, well, at least, like, honestly, at least we know for a fact now that... I think we lost. I still have more revives, man. How many more revives do I have? At least we know now for a fact that Santa Water is not actually insane. Okay, I was forced to run away before you, and before, even if you say you Sifd, you lost because you were moving around. Yeah, it was pretty apparent that I was not able to destroy anything. So don't tell me that. Yo Sifd, if you said at one point 1 billion Santa Waters would arrive around you and you would survive, yeah, that's like not factual. So yeah, we died. It's okay though. It's okay. That was actually part of the experience. Honestly speaking, that is what I wanted to see. I wanted to actually see if Labora was powerful enough to keep us alive at the very, very end. And at the end of the day, it was not. A good thing I did not pick up Clock Lancet because this would actually carry us. So yeah, Labora does a lot of DPS, but because it's only DPS, no, actually it does a lot of DPS because it covers a very big area and it also drops 1 million water around. But itself does not do that much damage. Like, for example, a Rune Tracer does a bunch of DPS because it pierces everything, but you shoot so many out of them that they actually destroy everybody. While Labora, even though you throw like 7 or 6 or 8 or 9 bottles around, they still don't do insane amounts of damage. So I had Spinach. I did not have Duplicator, but I did have Spinach and Spellbinder, which means they would last longer, and also Candelabra Ruler, which means they should have more AoE. I did not have Empty Tomes for more of them and Duplicator for more of them, but still, these 3 items should be enough. Like, if I had these 3 items on a Super Garlic plus a Super Book plus Vandalier, like if I had 1, 2, 3, I would have definitely survived in comparison with having 1, 2, 3. I mean, I had a bunch of bad items, honestly speaking, but the thing is that if I had more powerful items, then it would take away from the Labora being insane. So yeah, I don't know. Labora isn't really that crazy. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, helps out the channel. And yeah, also the algorithm, etc., etc. helps out with that too. Don't forget to subscribe if you want. And yeah, I would like to hear some opinions on what I just stated about the balancing and about the nerfing and this stuff. Yeah, I mean, in general, I still believe what I just stated. That in solo games, you can do patches, right? I do understand that. It's not really a hard concept to grasp. For some reason, people think that I mean, It's not people. It's just one or two persons disagreeing. And by the way, it doesn't mean that they're bad or anything, obviously. But, you know, sometimes you say, I disagree with the nerf. They should just leave it as is. They should not make the game harder or easier or whatever. And yeah, then people are like, yeah, you mean because it's a solo game, you don't need to change anything ever? No, you obviously need to change things in a solo game because that's why you play one-person survivors too, because they change things all the time. They add things all the time. But I disagree with the notion of removing fun things from games because people were having too much fun with it. That's, I guess, would be... I think that's like a more deciding factor. At the end of the day, I'm gonna close the argument by saying that isn't it more important that people use things and have fun? Like, isn't it more important that people have fun while playing a game? If the game is not a challenge-oriented game, right? Because, once again, if the game is gonna be Dark Souls or something, obviously, fun might not be the first concern. Having actually an insanely hard experience and, you know, making the player feel accomplished after they beat the game is the target in that game, right? But in other games where that is not the target, I think just having fun is the main target after that. Like, literally, if you... Yeah, I think that is literally the case. Any single game that is a solo play... I mean, it's not for any single game. I take that back. There are some games where the story is the main focus. There are some games where a bunch of other things are the main focus. But yeah, even in story-driven games... Yeah, especially actually in story-driven games, they almost never change the balance. Like, they launch the game and that's it. Guys, we're done. The game is out. That's how it's gonna go. It's a story-driven game. We're not gonna change the balance in Kingdom Hearts 3. We're not gonna change the balance in Final Fantasy. What are you talking about? We're not gonna patch that game. That's a story game. We don't care about the game. Like, we do care about the game, but it's done. It is what it is. I mean, we're talking about AAA here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. My closing statement is, oh, by the way, before I like close here, because yeah, I'm already digressing too much, and honestly, without footage, I don't want to really spam here talking. I was saying that it's hard to convince me. If you cannot change, like most of the time, I have realized that when I disagree with somebody, I can literally speak forever as long as the other person is okay with talking. That's what I was saying with mental stability or mental focus or whatever. Yeah, I don't get it. When people go into a disagreement with somebody, do they expect that the disagreement ever will end? Like, if you come to me and try to convince me that nerfing is good, and I try to convince you that buffing is better, like, do you really expect that this discussion is ever gonna end if you don't somehow, like, convince my main point? For example, I'm gonna literally tell to you, why do you think nerfing is a good idea? Okay, and then you have to convince me. If you do not convince that specific point, this discussion can go on forever. I can just say arguments, you can say arguments, and we're never gonna get anywhere. So, do people not realize that when they start like discussing with somebody? Do they really think that after 1 hour or 2 hours or 5 hours, the other person's gonna get convinced? One day, this last thing, and I'm off. So, one day, I don't remember who said that. I don't remember where I read this. I don't remember where I heard this, but I still remember this thing, which is, in an argument between two people, you are not trying to convince the other person. You are trying to convince a third person. That's like how arguments go. You should realize when you start arguing with somebody that you might convince them. Okay, I don't say. I mean, obviously, you might convince them. You might be a magician. But in general, when you like try to disagree with somebody on something, the thing that makes sense is convincing a third person, right? That's also what politics is, and that's also what discussions are in general, and that's also what trial is, right? In a trial, the defendant and the other one, I don't know what's the opposite of defendant. Like the defendant and the prosecutor don't try to convince each other, they try to convince the judge. Or when a debate between politicians happens on the TV, they don't try to convince each other that their point is stupid, they try to convince the masses, right? So when I disagree with you on a nerf or a buff, or if a card is good or not, or whatever, you have to realize that you will never convince me to change opinions as long as you don't like try to achieve that by actually pointing out mistakes on my point. And even then, you might still not change my opinion. What is going to happen is a third person that will try to read that thing in the Discord or in the comments or wherever. That third person is going to decide, yeah, I agree with this point, or yeah, I agree with that guy. but you will never be able to convince, like most of the time, not never, you will 95% of the time, you will not be able to convince the other person what they state is wrong and that they should change opinions, right? They should have, they do need to have the mental capacity and the ability to decide that they might be wrong for you to be able to change opinions on them. And even then, they might, like me, try to convince you back that they are right and you are wrong. So, yeah, if you don't realize that, you will be in perpetual discussions with people and you will, like, exit, I can't go on anymore. Man, this guy is not getting convinced ever. It's as if I'm talking to a wall. Man, in every discussion, it's as if you're talking to a wall. What do you mean? That's literally how discussions go. You say your things, he says his things, and then you just discuss about this until one of the two is like, yeah, I'm tired. But guess what? I'm never getting tired. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. I know this whole thing, 5 minutes just talking about this specific thing. Sorry if I tired anybody. I mean, you could literally have left already if you got tired. But still, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to me. Obviously, once again, discussion about this whole thing in the comments below. And yeah, I mean, if you want to state your opinion, that's that. But as I said, when you discuss with somebody, realize that you are trying to convince a third person that's watching and not specifically the person you're talking with. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. Once again, thanks for watching and see you guys around.